Hey gamers, I have a confession to make. Most of you recognize me as an extremely skilled Valorant community member for the masses to look up to when it comes to getting assists. But I wasn't always this good. Believe it or not, I used to end my games with fewer assists than I have fingers on my hand. I know from personal experience what it's like to end a game of Valorant with that third number on your scoreboard so catastrophically low. That's why I've made a guide sharing with you all the tips and tricks that I use to tremendously increase my assists. Tip 1. Peek more. You know when you're on the attacking side, and there's always that one Reyna or Phoenix who peeks first without utilizing any abilities and dies immediately? Be that guy. Chances are you'll at least damage someone, maybe even 2 or 3 players. And if they're headshots, there's even more of a chance you'll rack up those almost kills. Think of the phrase trial and error, but without the connotation that doing such leads to improvement down the road. In reality, what we desire is trial and error that leads to more trial and error. If error in the broad sense means failure to finish kills in Valorant. Take more unfavorable chances, forget about positional safety. Be riskier for no practical reason. All of these are sure to help you get more assists in Riot's first-person shooter title. Tip 2. Economy and weapon choice. In Valorant, managing your money, or more commonly referred to as your economy, is crucially fundamental. But you see, most econ strats for Valorant that pro players tell you to internalize just simply don't work for us assist seekers. The most common economic strategy is based off of the idea, save then buy. Or in other words, when you're broke after losing a round, refrain from purchasing expensive, money-draining weapons and abilities for the next, allowing you to then full buy on the following round. This is terrible advice. If you're looking to raise your assist count, instead of following this save then buy rule, follow my very own save then save rule. If you're aiming to get assists, expensive high DPS guns like the Phantom or the Vandal are not on your side, as they do enough damage to where you might accidentally kill your targets if you get an unlucky headshot or two. And don't even get me started on how detrimental snipers are. They quite literally one-shot opponents if poorly aimed at the head. Instead, prioritize heavy shields so you can stay alive for as long as possible, and stick to high fire rate guns with lower DPSs. Think the Spectre, Ares, Bulldog, and especially the Stinger. Behold the hidden secret behind assistants like ourselves that everyone's been looking for in reaction to the rise of our cause. I call it the Stinger tap fire meta. It's exactly what it sounds like. To put it plainly, rapidly clicking with this cheap SMG, as opposed to shooting by the way it's designed to function, will raise that third number to inexplicable counts. Absolutely insane, guys. As soon as I developed this habit, I actually double my assists. Oh, and side note, always buy for your team no matter what. The better guns they have, the more kills they'll be able to steal from you. Encourage that behavior by removing yourself from the equation when it comes to team balance. Now that you've heard some general advice on how to master the art of lightly damaging opponents, it's time to think about what agent suits you the best. As a rule of thumb, you want to favor agents with more damage-dealing abilities. Agents like Jett and Yoru are built to emphasize gunplay, so it's best to avoid them. Info gatherers like Sova, Fade, and Cypher aren't gonna do you much either. Truth be told, the best agents to barely not frag out with from each of the 4 classes are Raze, Skye, Killjoy, and Viper. Going in order, starting with Raze, she is loaded with damage output from front to back, as all of her abilities deal HP to varying degrees. The grenades are great to scatter enemies around with, but also to partially damage them and take their shields. The same can be said for boombots as well. Satchel boosts are great for setting opponents up to be killed by teammates with that little punch of damage to add your contribution to the scoreboard. Raze's ultimate ability, however, is where she really shines. If aimed correctly, the showstopper can deal a bunch of damage to players in a radius without it being enough to kill any. Skye is the best initiator to use, because her flashes and dog contribute plenty. The former sets you up with plenty of time to lower the healths of your blind enemies, while the latter does enough damage on its own. Sick. Skye's regrowth ability can't be used to self-heal, but rather it heals her buddies if they are in a given radius, helping to maintain survival for teammates, but never herself, which can help them finish off what thankfully weren't your kills. Skye's ultimate also rocks hard, distracting, blinding, and immobilizing opponents upon contact. Overall, Skye's kit is perfectly designed for assistance. As for the Sentinel class, Killjoy is who you want to focus on the most. With her moderately damaging swarm grenades, slow-firing turrets, and alarm bots that act very well as cheeky minor inconveniences, her kit will have your ADR soaring. It's actually crazy, guys, how easy it is to perform beautifully mediocre with Killjoy. Last but not least, however, it's Viper. Viper is without a doubt the agent that will raise your assist count game by game. Improvement is guaranteed, I promise. Just take a look at her kit. Snakebite is a molly that can be thrown from preposterous distances and always seems to come in handy, but the real deal is in her other 3 abilities. You see, Viper has this mechanic called Decay, and as assist seekers, Decay is our best friend. Essentially how it works is it lowers the health of enemies who are in Viper's smokes or gas to just 1 HP. What more could you ask for? Decay sets up kills for your teammates effortlessly. Use Viper's Pit, aka her ultimate, creating a giant cloud of decaying smoke, and then hide in a corner while your team does the work. Place a poison cloud on Spike and remotely activate it when enemies begin defusing. The possibilities are endless with Viper. This is how I double my assists in Valorant. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this guide. See ya!